know who made thee, gave thee life and bade thee feed by the stream and o'er the mead, gave thee clothing of delight, softest clothing, woolly, bright, gave thee such a tender voice, making all the vales rejoice. Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? Little lamb, I'll tell thee. Little lamb, I'll tell thee. He is meek and he is mild. He was once a little child. I a child and thou a lamb. We are called by his name. Little lamb, God bless thee. Little lamb, God bless thee. The little black hen, and Berryman and Baxter, Pretty Boy and Penn, and old Farmer Middleton were 5 big men, and all of them were after the little black hen. They ran quickly, she ran fast. Baxter was first and Berryman was last. I sat and watched by the old plum tree. She walked through the hedge and she came to me. The little black hen said, "Oh, it's you." I said, "Thank you, how do you do? And please will you tell me, little black hen, what do they want, those 5 big men?" The little black hen, she said to me, "They want me to lay them an egg for their tea. If they were emperors, if they were kings, I'm much too busy to lay them things. I'm not a king and I haven't a crown. I climb up trees and I come tumble down. I can shut one eye, I can count to 10. So lay me an egg, please, little black hen." The little black hen said, "What will you pay if I lay you an egg for peace today?" "I'll give you a please and a how do you do. I'll show you the bear that lives in the zoo. I'll show you the nettle place on my leg if you lay me a great big Easter egg." I showed her the place where I had my sting. She touched it gently with one black wing. "Nettles don't hurt if you count to 10. And now for the egg," said the little black hen. "When I wake up on Easter Day, I shall see the egg she has promised to lay. If I were emperors, if I were kings, it couldn't be full of wonderful things." Berryman and Baxter, Pretty Boy and Penn, and old Farmer Middleton are 5 big men, and all of them are after the little black hen. They want her to lay them an egg for their tea, but the little black hen is much too busy. The little black hen is much too busy. The little black hen is much too busy. She's laying an egg for me. In order for a picture, "Ah, good painter, tell me true, has your hand the cunning to draw shapes of things that you never saw?" "Aye, well, here is an order for you. Alway and alway, night and morn, woods upon woods, with fields of corn lying between them, not quite sere, but all in the full, thick, leafy bloom, when the wind can hardly find breathing room under its tassels. Cattle near, biting short of the short green grass, with hot bright birds twittering all around." Ah, good painter, you can't paint sound. "These in the house where I was born, low and little and black and old, and children many as it could hold, all at the windows open wide, with heads and shoulders clear outside. Perhaps you may have seen some day roses crowding the self-same way out of a wilding wayside bush. Listen closer. When you have done with woods and cornfields, a lady, the loveliest ever the sun looked down upon, you must paint for me. Oh, if I could only make you see those clear blue eyes, those tender smile, the woman's sweetness and the gentle grace. I need not speak these foolish words, for one word tells you all I would say. She is my mother. You will agree all the rest may be thrown away. Two little urchins at her knee you must paint, sir, one like me, the other with a clearer brow, the light in his adventurous eyes flashing with boldest enterprise. At 10 years old he went to sea. God knoweth if he be living now. He sailed in the good ship Commodore. Nobody ever crossed her track to bring us news, and she never came back. 'Tis 20 long years and more since that old ship went out of the bay with my great-hearted brother on her deck. I watched him till he shrank to a speck, and his face was towards me all the way. Bright his hair was, a golden brown, the time we stood at our mother's knee. That beauteous head, if it did go down, carried sunshine with it into the sea. Out in the fields one summer night we were together, half afraid of the corn leaves rustling and of the shade of the high hills, loitering till after the low little light of the candles shone through the open door, and over the haystack's pointed top, all of it trembled and ready to drop, the first half hour, the great yellow star that we with staring ignorant eyes had often and often watched to see propped up and held in its place in the skies by the fork of the tall red mulberry tree, which close to the edge of our flax field grew. Dead at the top, just one branch full of leaves, lined, notched round and lined with wool, from which it tenderly shook the dew over our heads when we came to play in its handbreadth of shadow day after day. Afraid to go home, sir, for one of us bore a nest full of speckled and thin-shelled eggs, the other a bird held fast by the legs. The berries we gave her she would not eat, but cried and cried till we held her bill so slim and slender to keep her still. At last we stood at our mother's knee. Do you think, sir, if you try you can paint the look of a lie? If you can, pray have the grace to put it solely in the face of the urchin that is likest me. I think 'twas wholly mine indeed, but that's no matter. Paint it so. The eyes of our mother take good heed, looking not at the nest full of eggs, or the fluttering bird held fast by the legs, but straight through our faces down to our lives. And oh, with what injured, reproachful surprise I felt my heart bleed where that glance went, as though a sharp blade struck through it. You, sir, know that you on the canvas are to repeat things that are fairest, things most sweet. The woods and the cattle and the mulberry tree, the children, the bird, the mother, the lads with their bird at her knee. But oh, that look of reproachful woe! High as the heavens your name I'll shout, if you paint me the picture and leave that out.